in Iraq. You know, the Taliban and all the terrorists are in that area. They're going to serve their 2 tours, come back to this big
Rakennutti voi kiikas, eikö viikokkovirikio. Itse aakuus kuukat vaadin tikas. Itse ja hommaiduus kuuk vaadin tikas. Just say the homma.
Thank you very much, Dr. Lanny Wilbur. All right, Warriors. Exit stage, Warriors. Harkas started. Harkas konuşuyor. Destructions are all over.
Rivers of horse, rivers, rich rivers of horse up and down these coulees and draws the mine from the Rio Grande and the Platte to the Powder River flow herds of this mystic pony, tapping willow stick. I can still hear my grandfather tapping painted black with the willow stick a long time ago. At one time, a long time ago, my grandfather owns painted horse behind him I sat on his horse painted black. I hugged him lightly as I leaned the right side of my face gently against his back. These horses have a soul. Do them good, respect them, talk good to them, and they know. They talk to each other, they say. When you talk good to the horse's spirit, they will come to you to kill an Indian by himself and to have the bragging rights on the plains, so they followed Crazy Horse in. So when they showed up on Big Piney Creek, Crazy Horse disappeared, and then when he showed up,
throughout the 1860s, the northern plains, mountains, and the Sioux, Northern Cheyenne, mercilessly harassed the settlers, the light-eyed people passing through their land. Finally, in 1868, the forts along the Bozeman Trail were abandoned, and the United States government seeks peace with the mighty Sioux Nation. A delegation from the United States War Department was sent out to Fort Laramie in 1868 to meet with these mighty nations, the Sioux, Cheyenne, Absaroka, and Arapaho. There is still thousands of non-treaty Indians. Chief among the no-treaty Indians are Sitting Bull of the Hunkpapa and Crazy Horse of the Ogallala Sioux. Chiefs of the treaty Northern Cheyenne are Two Bulls and Dull Knife. They agreed to nothing. Treaty Indians say you are fools to make yourselves slaves to a piece of fat bacon, some hardtack, and a little sugar and coffee. Still, it is of no matter to Sitting Bull if the treaty goes through, for he is still free to do as his heart wishes, to hunt and roam free as he has always done. The days of the lodges moving to old camps through the 4 different grounds was now going to end. Eating the best of meat was now going to be over. And now we have to eat the spotted buffalo. Only the wind is free to blow where it may. Corrupt government agents had high bogus Indian counts for rations that were on the reservation, but in actuality, Indians were leaving the reservation. The corrupt government agents were trading these goods intended for the reservations to the sodbusters, the settlers, pilgrims that were now steadily increasing on Indian land. The Indians were hungry, so they returned to the offerings of sacred Mother Earth, who has never failed her children, the ones with their breechcloth. They were free again, moving there, and Scout Mitch Boyer sends word that Custer Yellowhair was on his way to look for the Indian camp somewhere towards where the sun rises from the shining mountains, the Big Horn Mountain. The wolves laid tracks for him at the mouth of Rosebud Creek. Custer Yellowhair saw these tracks and followed them up to the Rosebud River to the edge of the Wolf Teeth Mountain. From there, they dropped off into Ash Stick Creek, Reno Creek. Custer Yellowhair then divided up his men with Benteen toward the noonday sun, toward Long Otter Creek.
Steams
To look up the
through
hill.
their nostrils, rhythmic flow. Should have died when I was stuck to a wild horse. An old man replied that an ox spoke to life's meandering course. But then he remembered grandfather, remembering how what the warriors would say. Before I have the toothache bother, take me away to never see that day. War paint from a dream was put on early or late at night when alone leads me to think of where we would meet. I've thought of how to say goodbye to everyone I've met in the midst of a battle with a buffalo bull. Testicle cover rattle, a warrior stands singing as hoops and hollers are ringing and with rawhide around an ankle he stakes himself to the ground. The end is now, for he no longer wants to handle the sacred fire of life.
But
So
to
he
make
wants-
Calvary pay for killing old ladies, old men, children, women. Make him pay and put their paint on. Hello?
So vows were made.
He could hear better in the next world. He was thrown in the river. They said, "What is bad? We send down river to never ever return." Yes, Custer Yellowhair and his men never saw the sun set on June 25th, 1876. Get them into submission. But this time, the warriors stood up. And the battle enraged. And Custer and his men were wiped out on this day. That is historic day. 235 years ago.
They've been riding the horses for 4 or 5 days straight since they saw the trail, the tracks of the Indians